Good morning, everybody. Mr. House Shipper here. So I wanted to bring you a video, hopefully a very informative video about an age-old question. I can't believe I hadn't put this video out here before, put the information out before. I get the same question probably every single person that I speak to. What's the difference between a modular and a double wide? Although there are a long list of differences, I just want to touch on some of the main differences, mainly the appearance, the construction, somewhat financing, those kind of things, or value, those kind of things. So here we go. I hope this helps you guys out. So like I say, there's a lot of people that ask, mainly zoning purposes. Some properties require you to have at least a modular or stick-built home. Some properties will allow you to do a double wide or a single wide, which is a manufactured home. So you got to know the differences. There are terminologies and descriptions that will determine which one you're allowed to place on your property, or what area you're allowed to place which home on. And again, you will want to know the differences before you make the purchase, because obviously once you make the purchase, you're stuck with what you purchased. So again, when making a decision on what you're purchasing, it's very important to know the terminology or the description of what you're allowed to place on your property. A modular home is sometimes referred to as a mod, off frame or on frame, so you'll want to know those terminologies when you're purchasing. A manufactured home is also described as a double wide or a HUD home, and again, you're going to want to know those differences when you're purchasing a home to place on your property. So let's play a little game real quick. Let's say you're riding down the road, you look over at a home that's being constructed, a new home, and you see this picture. And then very next home next door, you see this picture. Can anybody tell me which one is the modular and which one is the double wide? Well, I can tell you right now, to the untrained eye, it's very hard to tell the differences between the two, but hopefully by the end of this video, you guys will know how to spot the differences. And that way, if you're shopping around or if you're asked, just simply ask the question or in the conversation, you'll know the differences and you'll be a little bit more in tuned on what the differences are. So let's go ahead and touch on the most important topic or question that's asked when you're wanting to determine the difference between a modular and a double wide, and that is cost. Let's face it, cost per square footage is basically what you're buying or what you're praising or what your value comes from. And people want to know what the differences is in cost. If I'm paying more for a modular, which is always the case, is it beneficial for me? Or is it beneficial for me to get more square footage and pay for a double wide? So those questions or the answers are somewhat opinionated, but the details or the logic of making the decision is going to be fact-based. So when you're looking at a double wide and modulars have similar layouts in most cases. This is a layout for a double wide. It is 1,280 square foot. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And this home, as a double wide, will run you anywhere from $78 to $88 a square foot. Now, guys, there are exceptions. You can go into this floor plan and you can load it up with upgrades and it'll run you above $88 a square foot. But just as a general rule, general purposes for this answer to the differences between a modular and a double wide, for this plan, you're going to be somewhere between $78 and $88 a square foot to order it as a double wide. So now, guys, most floor plans are interchangeable, meaning that you can build the same floor plan in a double wide and upgrade that to a modular form. Some floor plans you can't, but for the most part you can. This 1,280 square foot double wide plan, you can upgrade it to a modular. If you do the standard options on this modular plan, you're running anywhere from $100 to $150 a square foot standard options. So that is going to give you a difference in cost or a comparison in cost. As a double wide, 1,280 square foot, you're going to run anywhere from $78 to $88 a square foot standard options. As a modular, 1,280 square foot, you're going to run anywhere from $100 to $150 a square foot standard options. So as you can see, guys, price per square footage comparison, a modular home is going to be more expensive to purchase than a double wide home. In a sense, what you're getting is, if you do a double wide, you're getting more square footage for your money. And in a modular, you're getting less square footage for that same money. So Just as a price per square foot basis, I hope that gives you a great idea of the differences there between a modular and a double wide. So now let's move on to some of the construction differences. There's a long list of construction differences and options that you can put into a modular or a double wide, but these are just a few. So starting with the base options or standard options for a double wide, the most important thing on the double wide is you've got steel frames as a must or a standard for double wides. Some of the insulation packages are different between mods and double wides. On a double wide, you've got R22 in the ceiling, 11 in the walls, and 11 in the floor. And later on, I'll show you what you've got in the modulars. You've got 2x4 exterior walls, 2x8 floor joists. So those things are a standard in a double wide, and those are the differences, like I said, between the two.
So when you go over to a modular, as you can see, the first thing you see there's all frame. You can order it on frame. Again, that's an exception, but you do see all frame. You've got R30 insulation in the ceiling, R13 in the walls, and R22 in the floor. You've got a standard of 2x10 floor joist exterior or floor joist, and then 2x6 exterior framing. So again, there are exceptions to those rules, but for the most part, that's what you have as options for a modular home.
So jumping over to the floor plan or layout differences, most double wides are a box style floor plan with a few exceptions, but for the most part, they're box style. Double wides come in two sections. It'll split right down the middle, which is called the marriage wall here, and you'll have the A half, and then you'll have the B half. Usually the A half is the front half, the B half is the back half, and with the modular floor plan, guys, there is literally, for the most part, no exceptions on what you can do. There's multiple marriage walls, or multiple roof pitches, roof lines. So this particular this particular home is a 4-box home. It's got 2 marriage walls, one here and one there. And again, the roof line is just, there's no standard really when it comes to modulars. I have literally designed a modular on a piece of paper, sent it to the factory, and they were able to design that modular for us. So again, with modulars, you have a lot of customization room there. With a double wide, you're limited a little bit more to what you can do. The next thing I want to talk about is roof pitch. On a double wide, a standard roof pitch is a 312 roof pitch. You can go up to a 412 or a 512. With a modular, you can go up to a 1212 roof pitch. So you've got options of doing a 712, 912, or 1212. The roof pitch is one of the more visual differences that you can see to determine the difference between the two. This is a 412 roof pitch on a double wide. Here's a 712 roof pitch on a modular home. So when you're looking at a home in the field that is set up, when you see that roof pitch difference, again, that'll give you a little bit of an indication of the differences. But keep in mind, you can upgrade on a double wide to a 512 roof pitch. So when you see a 1212, a very steep roof pitch, it is a modular. When you see a lower roof pitch, it is more than likely a double wide. Another indication of differences is when you see the home come in, as you can see that roof pitch there is hinged, meaning it folds up once you get it set in place. That is a good indication that it is a modular home. 512 roof pitches and up are all hinged roofs, and they have to be raised into place for the peak. So another difference in appearance or construction, all double wides, without a doubt, will have multiple piers under the home. These concrete blocks here are called piers. And if it's a double wide, it is required, the construction requires it to have multiple piers under the home. As a modular home, we'll have a house-type foundation built, and the home will be set onto the foundation. The only piers that you will see on a modular home are the center piers. Again, 100%, if you look underneath the home and you see multiple piers like this, it is 100% a double wide. The double wide will have the metal frame still underneath it. and a modular home will not. When a modular home is set, the frames are removed from the home and the home is crane set onto the foundation. When the double wide set, the frames stay underneath the home and the piers raise up the frame. So if you see this look, that is 100% a double wide home. But without a doubt, you will be 100% right if you look at this home and see these piers and label it a double wide. When you look underneath the modular home, this is what it will look like underneath the modular home. You again will only have the center piers. There's a lot more space. It's a lot more open. You will have the exterior side walls, and then you will have these center piers that go along the center of the home. If you look underneath the home, you will be 100% right if there is no metal and there's center piers only. The next difference, I touched on it a little bit before, is the way that the home is set. A modular home, 100% of the time, is crane set onto the foundation. It's brought in with the frame, with the wheels, just as a double wide, so people kind of get that confused. But again, if it's crane set, if you have a crane on site and it's crane set onto the foundation, it's 100% a modular home. A double wide is jacked up, basically, onto the piers and set. The blocks are set under the home and then it's closed up together. So if it's crane set, it's a modular home. If it's jacked up or hoisted up onto the piers, then it is a double wide. Some interior differences of the home. Modular homes have house type sheetrock. Now you can option in or upgrade a double wide to have sheetrock in it. So it's not a telltale sign, but for the most part, modular homes standard have sheetrock interior. 100% of the time, a modular home will be standard with sheetrock, that without a doubt. Your double wides will come, some double wides, if you don't option, the standard wall panel in a double wide is vinyl over gypsum is what it's called, but it's a vinyl finish over top of a sheetrock. The easiest way to tell that is you have the strips on the wall, the batten strips on the wall, and that will be a double wide. 100% of the time, if you have the strips on the wall like you see here, it is a double wide. And again, sometimes you can upgrade those options, but if it does have the strips, it is a double wide. So hey guys, after all the information I've given you, I hope that was very informative. Back to our question, which one of these homes is a modular and which one is a double wide? And as you can see from based on the information that I gave you, to the untrained eye, it is very hard to tell the difference. But hopefully, again, I gave you enough information to be able to tell the basics between the two. So here's the answer. This home here is a modular and this home here is a double wide. Simply because of the roof pitch, you can tell the difference from that roof pitch. This is a 412 or a 312 roof pitch, and this home here is a 512 or 712 roof pitch. So, but again, roof pitch, piers underneath the home, metal, sheetrock inside, those kind of things will give you an idea of what you're purchasing. I appreciate you guys watching my video. I hope this is very informative for you. Come back and watch more. Bye-bye.